Hey friends, it's Cloud Quartz. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A video because I recently hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, which is so exciting. And so to celebrate that, I decided that it would be fun to just do a little talking so you can learn some more about me. So I asked on my Instagram and my Twitter for questions if anyone had them, although nobody sent any on Twitter because I have like 17 followers on Twitter. But I got some really awesome questions on Instagram, and I'm very excited to go through them. I have them color-coded by theme so that hopefully it can kind of keep me on track and I don't repeat myself too much. So, let's do this. What is your favorite song at the moment? So, oh my god, I hate picking favorites because it's just very difficult for me. At the moment, I want to say, I'm going to give multiple answers because I cheat like that. I want to say either Simmer by Hayley Williams, because every time I hear it start to play, I just get really excited. Or What's a Man Gotta Do by the Jonas Brothers for the same reason. I'm of like the age where I was prime Jonas Brothers targeted audience back in their early days, but I was never particularly into them. But now that they're back, I'm obsessed. And that isn't to say that I didn't like their music or their TV shows or whatever it was that they did before, because it's good and I did. I wouldn't have called myself a Jonas Brothers fan, but now I solidly would. Also, if it looks like I'm doing weird things with my hands, it's because I just painted my fingernails, which I never do. So they're this really nice light purple color. But I always feel really weird about having paint on my nails because I never do it. So either Simmer by Hayley Williams or What a Man Gotta Do by the Jonas Brothers, as far as current music. Yeah. Top 3 favorite artists. Should I answer that as of all time? That would be really hard. Or currently. I'll say currently. Top 3 favorite artists currently. I'm gonna say Cavetown, Orla Garland, and Hayley Williams / Paramore, in no particular order. And I say / Paramore because I love the After Laughter album, so that is kind of... But I also love Simmer and Cinnamon and the new stuff that Hayley's been releasing. So, yes. Because I have another one that says first favorite band or artist. So, first favorite artist. I think I have a really poor memory for my life, which is unfortunate. So don't pop into a time machine and fact check me on this, but I'm going to say Simon and Garfunkel because I've loved Simon and Garfunkel for ages. I remember first hearing their music when I was really young and just listening. I actually found this old case of my dad's cassettes in our basement, and I was pulling them out and listening to them. They were ones that were 60s music and stuff like that, and then there was a Simon and Garfunkel mixtape that he made, and I listened to it, and I just love their music so much. The Boxer is one of my favorites. I actually made an art piece inspired by it because it's just beautiful and I love it so much. So in short, Simon and Garfunkel. I should probably be marking off which ones I've answered, or I'm going to forget. If you could collab with any band or artist, who would it be? Oh man. So the idea of collabing terrifies me because I guess imposter syndrome. I feel like I'm not good enough to collab with anyone, or if I tried, they're going to realize that I don't know what I'm doing at all. But in a dream world, where I do know how to collab with someone and I have the opportunity, I would love to collab. I would love to collab with Cavetown just to see what his songwriting process is like. His songs are so interesting. I love his lyrics. I love his music. So that would be very educational. Also, he just seems really nice. So that would be super cool. Best concert you've ever been to. Best concert. Best concert. How are we defining this? I went to a Walk the Moon concert, and it was like at this outdoor stage, and it was kind of a small venue, like comparatively. Like I've been to a Paramore concert for their After Laughter tour, and that was a much bigger venue. It was also outdoors than this Walk the Moon concert, so it was really cool. We were just like on this grassy area, and people had like picnic blankets, and everybody was able to like stand up and dance. I hate when you're at a concert and there's like chairs everywhere, and like you can't dance. That makes me very sad in my heart of hearts. So the fact that it was like outdoors, it was a really nice day, and there was like room for people to just like dance and go crazy. I really enjoyed that concert. So I will say, Walk the Moon concert. What is another hobby of yours besides music? Let's see here. I think my second love besides music is reading. I do a lot of reading. I actually also review books as like a side gig, which is great because it means that I just get mailed books for free and I get to read them before they're released, and then I get to like write a little paragraph and be like, here's some stuff about this book. So I do a lot of reading in my free time, and that leads very nicely into favorite book. Favorite book. Once again, I hate answering favorites. I think if I had to pick one book, I would have to choose Bridge of Clay by Marcus Zusak, because it is the most gorgeous work of literary art that I have ever read in my life. It's amazing. I don't think it's for everyone, so it's not my number one like recommended book because it's not very plot heavy. It's beautiful is what it is, honestly. And I don't really know how to describe it, but it's very like character driven, which I am a hoe for characters. So I have to like the characters in a story. It doesn't matter like how good the plot is. If I'm not connecting with the characters, I could care less. Or I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less. Favorite movie? Favorite movie? Oh, that's interesting. Favorite movie? Oh, I know. What We Do in the Shadows. I'm obsessed with What We Do in the Shadows. If you haven't seen it, it's a really funny mockumentary about vampires. It's Taika Waititi, who is amazing in everything he does, and like Jermaine Clement, and it's great, and you should totally check it out because it's wonderful. They also made a TV series that's on Hulu right now, I think, or maybe some other platforms, which I didn't get too far into, but I would recommend definitely checking out the movie first. Okay. Series as in like TV series or like book series. I'm gonna say TV series. Favorite TV series? Wow. Okay, I watch a lot of anime, but to simplify this, I'm gonna say non-anime. Favorite TV series. Oh gosh. There's too many. So I'm gonna do top 3 because I'm cheating. I'm gonna say Steven Universe, Sex Education on Netflix, and The Good Place. The Good Place. Yeah, obviously. That's probably my number one answer because The Good Place is amazing. I was the last episode, you know how it's called like Whenever You're Ready? I was not ready. I was never gonna be ready. But definitely recommend The Good Place if you haven't checked it out. It is amazing. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? And has it changed? So that's a weird question for me because as far as I can recall, I was not one of those children who was like, I want to be da-da-da when I grow up. I think I was very wrapped up in being a child and was not spending very much of my time thinking about the future. So I think the first time that I actually thought I wanted to be something was probably when I was in middle school. And I was in mock trial and I convinced myself that I wanted to be a lawyer. Definitely have not followed that path. And then as far as has it changed, like, yeah, it definitely changed. There was a while where I thought I wanted to be like in the publishing industry, and I'm still kind of curious about that. I've actually done some work in the publishing industry, book publishing to clarify. But I don't know. I have been feeling actually quite lost when it comes to these kind of questions. I think the best way that I've answered this ever is like, if it was a fantasy world where I could just pick my number one thing and do that, it would be voice acting, because I think that would be hella cool. But I do not have any sort of like background or anything that would set me up for that kind of career, so I don't think that's gonna happen. And then if it was a more like realistic chasing your dreams like kind of answer, I would say songwriting. Not even necessarily like performing in songwriting, but just songwriting, frankly, to be honest. And then if I'm like speaking realistically based off of my actual life history, what I've studied, what work I've done previously, probably looking for something in some sort of like editorial or writing sphere, because that's what's on my resume. So yeah, I don't know. The future is a big, scary enigma to me, and I am working on that. Where would you live if you could live anywhere? I think I want to say Austin, Texas, because it's the live music capital of the world, which is great. It's very young. There's a lot to do there, which is cool. My older brother lives there, and it would be really great to live near him. That would be amazing, actually. And it's warm. It is warm there. And I am a summer child. What do you spend the most money on? Rent. Definitely rent. But if we're talking like non-essentials, what do I spend the most money on? Wow, that's I kind of probably concert tickets. Now that I think about it, recently. Tickets, yeah. Concert tickets, yeah. What's the first instrument you learned to play and when? First instrument. So if we're not counting like singing, and even then, I didn't really start learning singing as like an instrument until I was older. So piano. I started learning piano because my mother made me, and I was 8 years old, I believe, when I started, and I took lessons for about 5 years, I believe. And if I sat down at a piano right now, I would be completely useless. So, well, not complete. Like, I know what the keys are, you know, and I can like read sheet music. I can read treble clef. If I try to read bass clef, I have to like sit down and count out and be like G, E, you know. But I couldn't sit down and play you something by any means. Favorite instrument to play? Can I say singing? Because I kind of want to say singing. If I can't say singing, which I love to sing. I sing all the time. I love everything about it. But if I can't say singing, then I'm going to say probably the ukulele. I do play other instruments, but the ukulele is the only one that I can like, well, I want to say it's the only one I can sing and play with, and because I love singing so much, that makes me love the ukulele. But you could also sing and play the piano. I just don't really do that. So singing and or ukulele. When did you start playing the ukulele? I got my first ukulele when I was 21, and that's when I started teaching myself. I played very on and off since then. I was still in school, so I started learning a bit. I learned some chords. I played some really basic songs, and then I kind of had this really long break and picked it up again like 9 months ago and started playing more regularly. So I've had it, and I started playing it about 4 years ago, but I've been more consistently playing it for, like 9 months, but I had a pretty good understanding of like chords and things like that by then. So, what's your process for songwriting? Lyrics first, chords first, or just both together? I actually do different things depending on the situation. So, for example, a lot of times I will write lyrics when I'm not able to do other things. Like if I'm, out and about and something just pops in my head, I'll like write the lyrics down really quick. Or if I'm like at work and I'm on a break and I just feel like writing, I can't really like bust out a melody at that moment. So a lot of times I'll start with the words just because of convenience. But other times I'll start with a melody. I've actually been practicing doing that a bit more because I think I get a little caught up on the lyrics too much, and I wanted to challenge myself to focus more on the melodies. So that was like a little assignment I gave myself, was to like write a series of songs where I wrote the melodies first, which has been very interesting. And then other times I'll be like, I want to write a song, and I'll just sit down with my ukulele and I'll like play a bunch of different chords until I come up with something. So all of the above. Do you ever want to write Disney songs? You know, if somebody ever gave me the opportunity to write a Disney song, I would probably freak out, first of all. But I would definitely be willing to try. That would be really cool. Best advice for songwriting? Well, I have only been writing songs for about 9 months now. So I don't have a whole lot of experience with it myself, honestly. But I feel like what works best for me is when I pick something that is just like something I emotionally connect with. When I start with like an emotional concept or something that I've like experienced myself or things like that, the songwriting tends to go a lot better for me. So that's my advice. Greatest inspirations for making music? I think as far as my own desire to write and share music, it mostly comes from like my emotions and the fact that I'm like constantly thinking about the world and myself, and you know, I get all these ideas and then I just kind of want to share them with people, and music is a really great way to do that. Who is your musical influence? You know, lately when I'm sitting down to write a song, I've been thinking a lot about like Fleetwood Mac or like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, because I just really like their folksy sound, and it's so like musical. Is that a weird way to put it? I feel like some of my songs, they aren't super musical, and so I've been trying to work on that. So they've been a pretty big inspiration for me. I think as far as like more contemporary writers, probably like Dodie Clark is a really big influence for me. Favorite fruit? So I think I want to say bananas, because I'm like always prepared to eat a banana. I buy them all the time and I eat them like for breakfast or for snacks, or if it's like right before bed and I'm like, I'm so hungry, I eat bananas. But I also gotta want to say pineapple, because I love pineapple. Pineapple is delicious. Pineapple does belong on pizzas, and you can fight me on that. So we're gonna say bananas and pineapple. Describe a perfect day. Describe a perfect day. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? A perfect day for me would probably be like 78 degrees or maybe even 80 degrees and sunny with like a few big fluffy clouds in the sky and maybe a nice breeze. And I would get to spend part of it on my own, either working on music or like reading or doing one of the many introverted activities that I enjoy. And part of it would be spent outside with friends, either adventuring around a city or going to see a concert or a play, or a musical. I love musicals, so musical is always a great way to spend a day. And then probably would involve getting some delicious food. Who inspires you the most? Who inspires you the most? Well, recently, Adam Rippon, the Olympic figure skater / winner of Dancing with the Stars / personality / YouTube series person, has been a really, really big inspiration. I actually got to meet him last year too when he was doing his book tour for his autobiography that he wrote, and he's so nice. He complimented my shoes, and I still have not recovered. Okay, where is that accent from, friend? This is such a funny question because I don't think of myself as having an accent, but maybe everybody feels that way. I'm from the Midwest of the United States of America, and so I generally think that I speak with that kind of, I guess, invisible accent that they always use in movies and television when a character isn't supposed to have a specific accent. But I do know that I can get a little like twangy. If I say like y'all, it can get a little southern, even though I am not southern at all. And I think sometimes my brain gets ahead of my mouth and I start to like mush my words, and so they can sound a little different. And so I guess that I don't really know where my accent's from. And that's my answer. What is the funniest blooper you had while recording? Most of my bloopers are either me, like, yelling at myself or making frustrated noises because I've messed up a take again, or the cats doing something like trying to climb on top of me while I'm playing, or they're messing with something in my room and I have to go stop them, and things like that. So this cat just came and sat on my lap and reminded me that I forgot to answer one of the questions. One of the questions was, what are the cats' names? So this one right here, this beautiful little lady, is Chai Katsky. I did not name her. She's actually my roommate's cat. And my roommate plays the piano. And so they are both named after composers. The other one, with the short black hair, wherever she is right now, is named Kachaturian, but we usually call her Kacha for short. And we usually call this one Chai most of the time. Sometimes I call her Katsky, just for fun. But usually it's Chai. Oh, and that reminds me, there was other question, because my roommate sent in a question asking which cat is my favorite. Wow, how did I forget so many questions? So my roommate asked which cat is my favorite. Dare I answer this question? I have to say Chai, because, well, first of all, you made me a godmother, so there's that. Obviously, I'm gonna pick a favorite based off of that. And secondly, I don't know, we just hang out a lot. We chill. We watch anime together, and it's a good time. The other question that I totally forgot about was cat or dog person. I just accidentally skipped all the ones that I highlighted in pink. Whoops. Cat or dog person. So growing up, I was solidly a dog person. I had a dog growing up. He was the best dog in the world. No questions. And I wasn't really a cat person at all until I started living with these two goobers. And now I've been converted, and it's kind of upsetting, honestly. But I kind of love cats. So can I say both? Is both allowed? We're going to say both. Okay, now I'm pretty sure I actually answered all the questions. Thank you so much, everybody who sent questions in. This was so much fun. Y'all asked great questions, by the way. And hopefully I can edit this down to a reasonable amount of time. If you are not on my Instagram or my Twitter and you didn't get the chance to ask a question, go ahead and drop one in the comments. Or if you have like a follow-up question on something that I said in this video, you can say that in the comments and I will totally reply and we can have a little chat. Thank you so much for watching this video. This was very fun for me to put together. And thank you so much for subscribing. This has been such a cool experience. You know, I haven't been doing this for super long, but I've met so many really kind and talented people, and I've got to have like little chats in the comments with so many lovely people, and it's been a joy overall. It's been great, and I'm really excited to keep writing and sharing songs with you, keep doing covers and tutorials. Those have been fun, and see where this all goes. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Goodbye!